Hey guys, what's going on? It's Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel. Got another video for you guys here today. Before we get started with today's video, if you guys can do me a solid favor and down below, smash the like button. Doesn't take too long to do and helps the channel out a lot in YouTube's algorithm. On top of that, if you could subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated. You get more Dallas Cowboys content in your subscription feed, and by hitting that notification bell, you don't miss out on new content when it drops. So, we're looking at these Cowboys cornerbacks, right? And we're kind of saying to ourselves before the draft, well, do we really feel comfortable running a lineup where you have Treyvon Diggs, Anthony Brown, and Jordan Lewis? And to be honest with you, you'd be lying to yourself if you said yes. You know, the Cowboys needed to improve at cornerback. You know, you lose Chidobe Awuzie, and I'm not trying to imply that he was a great or like elite corner, but he was a guy that, you know what, he's a solid starter, and the Cowboys need to get more of those, because over the past couple of seasons they really haven't done a whole lot to address the position. They've kind of just banked on these late round guys along with these cheap bargain basement guys to really do their job. And to be honest with you, when the season rolls around, you're going to see the results of that, and it's going to be terrible. So, Dallas went into this draft. They got a couple young guys at corner. They got Kelvin Joseph. They got Nahshon Wright. They got Israel Mukamu. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm so terrible with some of these other names. But the point being is the Cowboys went out, and they got these guys, okay? And you might be saying to yourself, well, these are improving guys. And I would agree with you. You know, we don't know what they're going to do on a full-on regular season football game. We don't. You know, the one thing we do know is you have a building block in Treyvon Diggs. Treyvon Diggs is going to be one hell of a player as long as he's being, good with his development. Dan Quinn's helping him. If that goes all together, I do firmly believe Treyvon Diggs will be on the path to being a pretty damn good corner, okay? And I mean, even if you look at his rookie season with the amount of games he played, and, he has more interceptions than Byron Jones does in his career. Now, I don't want that to make it seem that that's all that makes a good defensive back. That's not the case, obviously. It is. You do need to be ball hawkish. You need to get turnovers. You need to cause fumbles. That's something you're going to have to do. But ultimately, it's you disrupting the pass. And there were moments where Treyvon Diggs had a lot of good hustle. He made a lot of good plays. But at the same time, there were mistakes he's made. He's gotten burnt. All this other stuff. That happens, okay? For a rookie cornerback, he really held up. And traditionally speaking, rookie corners don't do well. They don't. And that's the fact of the matter being. So you have these other guys in Kelvin Joseph, Nahshon Wright, you have Israel, and all these, other, free agent guys. So the question is now what happens? To me, I'm looking at Anthony Brown. And Anthony Brown has been a guy that's like, okay, he's here, solid starter, whatever the case may be, but you can upgrade. You definitely can. And he's costing you a ton of money, and I believe, and I'm not looking at the numbers right now, if you were to cut him, you would save a substantial amount of cap space. And I think that he could possibly be on the chopping block if one of these younger guys, really step up. From what we're hearing, and again, I don't really like taking what OTAs say, like, with gospel. I don't really care about OTAs. I start caring about the training camps because that's when it really, really matters. Apparently, Nahshon Wright is doing well. Then again, who knows who the hell's throwing the ball to him? And I'm not trying to discredit his work ethic. I'm not trying to discredit what the Cowboys are trying to do with him or any of these other guys. It's just, you could say, like, hey, these guys are impressing. And, yeah, I would be like, yeah, they're showing up. They're showing out. But, we don't know that fully. Like, we could just go off of what they're telling us. So, Nahshon Wright has the largest microscope on him. Because, a lot of people were upset with the pick in the third round. They're like, who the hell is this guy? Why are we taking him? And I was one of those guys included, but that doesn't mean I hate the player. I think that if you look at his intangibles and he ends up reaching his full potential, by all means, he would be a fantastic selection. if all things work out. That goes with any draft pick, to be fair. But for me, I'm looking at him and Kelvin Joseph as the next two guys to really step up and be solid starters on this team or in the rotation. You know, you need, like, with these second and third round guys, they need to be impact players. You don't take someone that early just to be a backup. You know, you don't do that unless it's like a certain circumstance. But knowing where we are on defense, these guys need to do well. Do I expect them to be shut down, lights out, day one? No. But I expect them to have the work ethic to push and do better. Which, if you pay attention to what the Cowboys did in this draft, and specifically the guys they took, they have that drive and motivation to be the best they can be. And that's something that we can't say about some of these other drafts. You know, a lot of times it's just kind of like, okay, they're the right guys and all this other crap. This is the first time where it's like, oh, I see what they're doing. I see what the defense they're trying to build. And I admire that, to be completely honest with you. So I'm looking at the depth chart again, and it's kind of like, you know, you have some of these guys like Reggie Robinson, Maurice Kennedy, C.J. Goodwin. Now, C.J. Goodwin's a really good special teams guy. But for me, I'm more on the microscope of looking at a Nashawn Wright and a Kelvin Joseph. Because if, you taking those guys in the second and third round, they need to end up getting on the football field. You don't take someone that early and they don't get on the football field unless they are designed to be developed into a backup role or whatever the case may be. So, with all that being said, what are my expectations? I do believe Kelvin Joseph will be a starting corner for the Cowboys at some point. I don't know what the coaching staff is feeling. I don't know how things are progressing in terms of their evaluation, but I do believe that Nashawn Wright and Kelvin Joseph will see time on the field. As for Israel, I think that they have plans for him at being at safety, and if we want to throw that a little bit in here, I mean, you have Donovan Wilson and DeMonte Casey as your starting safeties according to, what we would be basing it off of, like the generic, like, okay, these are your guys. I mean, the other guys in there, Darian Thompson, Jaron Curse, Stephen Parker, and Tyler Coyle. There's no one there that's like, like the safety position is super thin. Okay? So to me, I mean, sure, you have, guys that can be solid at best. But if I'm Dallas, you need to hope that the guys you drafted step up and show out. I don't want to go on forever with this. So with all that being said, if you guys could, make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my channel members. They're on the screen right now. And if you want to join these guys and are part of this list, by all means, hit the join button down below and go ahead and become a member. So with all that being said, guys, I'll check you guys out in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye-bye.